you see crowds as excited as these, it doesn't take much guessing to know that they're watching basketball, the greatest game of them all. It's a truly American game, and all over the country, every year in the high schools and in the universities, it's a tremendous favorite. As played by the masters, the incredible grace and consummate skill of the game is wonderful to see. No wonder it holds vast crowds enthralled. Sometimes, in fact, the game becomes more exciting than we bargained for. Relax, Coach. But wherever the game is played, on city sandlots and at summer camps, as well as in the gymnasiums and big arenas, the fans feel that basketball is the king of sports. Well, there are kings of basketball, too. One team that is the greatest of them all, the finest on earth. As a matter of fact, the most fabulous collection of basketball talent since the game was invented a half-century ago. They've reaped more honors in the last 6 years than any comparable sports organization. Within that time, they've won 5 world championships. No wonder they're called the Yankees of basketball. No wonder that nationally famous magazines have featured their exploits and their accomplishments in stories read by millions. The simplest indication of the interest they've generated is to be found in the many important publications that covered their achievements. And where do you look to find the world's greatest basketball team? Well, look for the land of 10,000 lakes. Actually, there are a lot more than 10,000 lakes in this state, but it's easier to say 10,000 than 12,462. And the capital city of basketball is a city of lakes, with nearly a dozen beautiful ones right in the community itself. Lakes in which you can swim and play. Lakes in which you can even hold a world-famous water festival, like the Aquatennial, where day and night, millions enjoy observing a week-long aquatic Mardi Gras. Yes, all this is in Minneapolis, city of lakes, in the land of the sky-blue waters, and naturally enough, the home of the Minneapolis Lakers, the world's #1 basketball team. 5 times world champions in the last 6 years. 5 titles out of 6 in the league that contains the world's best players. The champion of champions. The greatest basketball team of the century. The Minneapolis Lakers. And now, meet the champs.
Hi there, everybody. Last spring, the Minneapolis Lakers won their 5th World's Championship in 6 years of league play. How well I remember that big night in New York City when they beat the powerful Knickerbockers to do it. The Lakers were hot from the opening tap-off. They've got the ball, and Jim Pollard's one-hander is a bullseye. Carl Brown of New York driving in for a scoop shot. No good. The rebound's taken by Pollard, and here come the Lakers. Over to Martin at the side. Slater's up with a set shot. Perfect. Ernie Vanderway of the Knicks with the ball. Over to Sweetwater Clifton, who's having trouble trying to crash the Laker defense. Back out to Vince Brilla, who sets. Boom. Standing room only here in Manhattan as the Lakers keep up the pressure. Bobby Harrison with a one-hander. He's terrific. Minneapolis leading at the quarter 19-18. An overhand set by Connie Simmons. It's in there. The visitors from Minneapolis with a chance to cinch the World's Championship tonight are going with all burners. They're passing and shooting sharp. Bob Harrison's one-hander does it. New York's ball. Dick McGuire starting to drive. Simmons' hook shot is blocked, but Simmons steals it right back again and scores. Now the flashy backcourt men from Minneapolis. This was the brand of hard-fought basketball we saw in New York the night that the Lakers went on to take it all 91-84 for their 5th World's title. Yes, that was a great night for the Minneapolis Lakers. They accomplished the almost impossible. They beat the red-hot New York Knickerbockers 3 straight games, and they did it on the Knicks' home floor. But a lot more goes into a World's Championship than just individual talent. Work, for example, in planning and practice. Practice and then more practice. To build a great team, a championship team, you need the immense height and strength of men like Mikan. This doubles the effectiveness of every shot by maintaining control of the ball. If you miss the first, maybe you'll make the second. And if your opponent misses the first, he doesn't get a second chance. You need men like Pep Saul and Bobby Harrison who can drop those long ones through the hoop when the defense has you stymied on the inside. Watch this one. You need men who can stay in there when the going is tough. Men who can break through and score when you need the points. Men like Jim Pollard. You need a man with the grace and skill of a ballet dancer and the fingertip control of a juggler. That's Vern Mickelson. And it doesn't hurt to have a little fellow around like Slater Martin. A fellow who can cool off the hottest of shooters with a fierce defense. Watch him in action here. Yes, it's nice to have talent, but so has the rest of the league. Take a man like the incomparable Bob Cousy of the Boston Celtics. Number 14, that's Cousy. A relatively small man, but absolutely a magician with a basketball. And a tremendous scorer. Adolph Shays, number 4 of Syracuse. An athlete with an uncanny sense of timing for grabbing rebounds and an absolute menace at making baskets. Bobby Davies of the Rochester Royals. Another small man, but as great as they come. Here's Blonde Bobby, the Rochester Flash. Ed McCauley of the Boston Celtics, number 22. Easy Ed, tall, smooth, and sure-handed with an extraordinary eye for hitting the hoop. Jack Nichols of the Milwaukee Hawks, the Marine Corps rifleman, a 6'6" southpaw who's a scoring demon. Yes, the rest of the league has plenty on the ball, too. Every team an aggregation of all-American stars. So where do you start? Well, if you're world champions and you want to stay world champions, you start with an idea. You know that Big George is the greatest basketball player of the century, was elected to that honor in an Associated Press poll, as a matter of fact, and you know that other teams know it. They figure if they can get George down to 10 or even 15 points a game instead of 35 or 50, they've got you beat. And they know how to do it. They've got to sag in on George and cover him like a blanket. Watch how they cover him now. Again, they're all over him. Say you're a coach like ex-Minnesota star Johnny Kundla, the man who's guided the Lakers to those 5 World Championships. If you're in John's shoes, what do? Well, you lock yourself up in the gym. You get an idea and then you start perfecting it. Then you practice and practice and keep practicing. So let them smother George. Let them hold him down to 10 or 12 points a game. So you use George as a decoy. Well, you get off to a good start, but the rest of the coaches have been around too. Men like Joe Lapchick of the Knicks, who used to play with the Lakers of an earlier era, the famed New York Celtics. And Red Auerbach of Boston, who's written a book on how to play basketball. You know that you've got a big team with power, a team that can rise up out of those battles under the boards to get those all-important rebounds. But you know what the league is going to do next. They're going to send their speed merchants out against you and try to run you to death. As long as they can't outpower you, they're going to fast break you. Fire that ball down the floor and make your big boys wear themselves out, running up and down that floor. That fast breaking can break your heart too, but when they lay those easy ones in there, you start to wonder how good you really are. So what do? You get back in the gym again and start practicing the fundamentals just as if you were back in high school. Fingertip control, get the rebound, move that ball, throw those passes, and run, run, run. You see, you've got some speed merchants too. If a team like the Lakers that's known for power can fast break, well, it won't be your heart that's broken. And your idea pays off. You bump into a fast-breaking team. And you fast break right back at them. Of course, the fast breaking only works for a while. The league catches up to you again. Then they start to play control ball against you, making you come out and get it, holding the ball and forcing you to make the mistakes while they wait for the sure shots. So it's back to school again.
How are you?
Okay, how you
How's
doing?
your ankle?
Real good.
Morning, gentlemen.
Oh, Judge. Hi, Bob.
What is it,
Bobby?
Oh, George.
How are you, buddy?
Hey, Lily.
Where's Jimbo?
How you doing, George? Hey, tell us a story about Sadowski on a fast break real quick, George, while I got a little time.
Well, man, you know,
You don't like to talk about it, do you?
How many times did he score on you?
forget about.
How many times did he score on you?
He just got 3 set shots, didn't he?
Listen, he never shot from that far out.
What are you
He said
talking
he was an
about?
old pro at the college spirit. That's what he told me when he grabbed
He
me.
got a pretty good fast man, didn't he?
Listen, why didn't you watch him when he turned his head
I
out
thought
there?
it was funny. That was
Hey,
funny.
dude, you watch him and let George watch Davies sometime,
switch me
huh?
up, that's all.
Sure. Take him in the pivot, huh?
Well, I'm a fast man, let's face it.
What you got to say, old Blackie?
All right, let's settle down, fellas.
Settle down.
Let's get serious.
Check the coach.
I think we won 20 in a row here. All right, first of all, I want to make an announcement. We're going to practice at the athletic club right after this pitcher. Now I want to go over the mistakes we've been making the past few games and iron out some of these mistakes. So let's pay attention closely and go to work. You all set?
Okay, coach.
Ready.
Here are our pitchers from our last New York game. Let's study them closely, and if there's any mistakes, let's run the pitcher back.
Well, let's get that rebound there.
There they go, running again.
Back on that defense.
Well, Vince goes through there and passes off nicely on that one. And we can't get that ball again. How many times are they grabbing it?
Come on, get that rebound. Here we're all watching the ball here, and we're missing our men. 2 guys are watching the ball here, and let that man get away.
That's what happens.
Was that your fault, Jim? Oh, there they go.
It was that fast break again.
There's a mistake there. Let's run this back here and look this over again. Make, especially watch yourself running down the court there. You're looking for your man, and it looks like Hitch has got him covered.
All right, we'll check it now.
The secret is to help each other out in a fast break out there.
We'll have to talk a little more.
When the movies are over, it's back to the gym. Even though by the middle of the season you feel as if you've had enough basketball to last you a lifetime. But that's the price you pay for being a champion. If they've been plugging up against Mikan, Pollard, Mickelson, Martin, and the others are your extra punches. So you work away at perfecting plays built around them. You practice whenever and wherever you get the chance. You try out the California play built around Pollard. It is, in effect, a double block for Jim's favorite one-hander. In this play, the 2 guards, Martin and Harrison, set up the block with an assist from Mikan. You rehearse it again and again. The arrow points to Harrison, who's blocking Pollard's man, springing Kangaroo Jim clear to make his patented shot. Then they use it in a game just like this. You work hard perfecting the Texas play, a running crisscross built around your fastest man, Doogie Martin, the classy little Texan. You do it over and over again to get it right. Your forwards pulling out to open up the middle. The first cutter, Harrison, throws to Mikan, who gives it to the second cutter, Martin, who has a nice alley to the basket. And so you try it in a game. Harrison to Mikan, he's in the high pivot, and Slater Martin cutting in. The only thing that stops him is a foul. put all these things together, you shift them every game to cross up the opposition, and you try to stay just a half a step ahead of the league. You travel east and west, and you drop a couple of tough ones on the road. You come home and win a couple, and you practice in between times. You plan some new plays and perfect some old ones, and meanwhile, you take them as they come. Sometimes you play 5 games in 5 nights and travel in between. But always you try to keep that half step ahead of the rest of the league. Planning, working, practicing, and playing. Once in a while you get home for a rest. But as the season wears on, you manage to stay on top. Sometimes the margin gets pretty thin, but you plot and plan and practice and manage to pull out the close ones. I remember one in particular. The Lakers were at Fort Wayne. They're wearing the dark shirts in possession. And here's the situation. All through the game, Fort Wayne has been leading, at times by as many as 15 points. But now in the closing minutes, the Lakers have fought to their first lead, 67-66, a single point. Here's a pretty set shot by Edelman. It makes it 68-67 Fort Wayne. Martin down the court, over to Pollard. Harrison fires to Mikan. And when Big George hits, it's 69-68 the Lakers. Edelman is blocked by Saul. Back out to Shaws, who dribbles over to the side. He sets, and it's good. This one is close. Pollard takes it down the floor for the Lakers. He hands off to Martin. Doogie feeds Mikan, and it's good again. But here are the Pistons very much in this ball game with less than 2 minutes to go. Big Charlie Scher in the pivot position, fakes, turns, shoots, and hits. Minneapolis' ball, and they're playing heads up. Mickelson drops in a close one. It's good at close range. With Mikan breathing down his neck and the rest of the Lakers ready to sag in on him, Scher can't shoot from the pivot. But Shaw sets perfectly from the side. And the Lakers lead by a single point, 79-78. But here comes insurance. Vern Mickelson is having a whale of a night. Faust is battled up in the key. Watch the steal now coming up by Bobby Harrison. He's got it. And with Mikan and Mickelson collaborating, the Lakers have another basket. Minneapolis leading 83-81. That's Edelman setting. It rims the basket, and the Lakers have the rebound. Harrison holds it up, getting set for a play. There's Mikan. His quick set is off the rim, but George makes good in his second try, 85-81. Frankie Bryan is shackled by Martin, and the Lakers take over again. 2 quick passes, and Mickelson has a hanger, 87-81. Interception by Pollard. And the Lakers have the game on the ice, 59 points for Minneapolis in the roaring second half, 36 of them in the final quarter. Martin drives in for the last score, and the Lakers win it, 89-81. Paced by Mikan and Mickelson, the Lakers pulled that one out of the fire in the very last minutes of the game. Yes, Laker fans get plenty of excitement game after game as the season goes by. Close ones, like the one you've just seen with Fort Wayne, keep you from getting complacent. But finally, you make it. You wind up on top with the Western Division title. And there's only one thing that stands between you and your 5th world's crown, a championship team from New York. East meets West in a 7-game playoff series. Your only hurdle now, the New York Knickerbockers, champions of the East. That means more study. Far more carefully than ever before, you must assess the techniques, the strengths, and the weaknesses of the team against you. That's Slater Martin watching one of the stars, Carl Braun, number 4. Long a tough adversary for the Lakers. A part of New York's strategy is to play him as a guard, pitting him against the shorter Slater Martin. While George Mikan looks on, he sees Sweetwater Clifton, number 8, former mainstay of the Harlem Globetrotters, the man with the biggest hands in basketball. He and Ernie Vanderway are 2 of New Yorkers' best men who can bust up a game any moment. Bobby Harrison looks over Dick McGuire. There he is, tricky Dick McGuire, playmaker of the Knicks quintet, extremely fast and clever, and a very good shot. And so the big night arrives, the night of the opening playoff game in Minneapolis. And you plan, and you run, and you lose. All your planning, all your preparation, your strategy, and your confidence is counted for nothing. But you're the champions. You buckle down, the next night tells a different story. Then the series moves to New York and keeps going. You win another. You go on to take your third straight. Finally, the memorable night in Manhattan and that crucial game when the fans wondered, can the Lakers add one more game to clinch their world's title to be world champions? And here we are in that climatic contest, the New York Knicks wearing the white shirts. That's Ernie Vanderway getting a tap in. Lakers ball. Martin has it. Over to Pollard. Look at him go. Clifton of New York drives down the middle, but his underhand shot is missed. Pollard recovers for the Lakers. Dougie Martin passes back to Saul, and he pops in a beautiful jumper. Knicks ball. They trail in the final quarter, 69-60. McGuire's tricky pass is snared by Martin, and it's a steal and a counter steal. Pollard finally fires it to Mickelson, who's got a lead pipe cinch. Vanderway gets a screen, and he gets a basket. The Knicks are fighting back. Mikan is being guarded like gold. Martin can't beat him. Out to Pollard. Back to Dougie. Watch this set. It's beautiful. Vanderway over to Gallatin. Out to Barilla. Vanderway feeds Simmons. It's a nice one. 2 minutes to go and an all-court press by New York. It's hands off to Pollard, and it's good. The Knicks are battling desperately and effectively. They trail by only 5 points, 85-80. Vanderway into Simmons. And pandemonium breaks loose as he gets his hook shot in. A steal by Vanderway, who races down the court to make it 85-84. Jump ball, and Mike can go straight to his target. With less than 30 seconds left, that nails it down, the Lakers go on to win their 5th World's Championship, and a more jubilant team of athletes you never saw. Congratulations from the losers, who put up a terrific fight before they went down. The celebrating goes right on into the locker room, where a lot of tired but happy Lakers continue to rejoice. This is a night they'll never forget. New York is a great town, recognizing greatness in others. It took the Minneapolis Lakers to its heart, just as it has taken its own champions. Sometimes the Lakers were knee-deep in the admiration of their fans. But perhaps the finest recognition the Lakers received was that given them by the New York Yankees. Manager Casey Stengel, Yogi Berra, Vic Raschi, Phil Rizzuto, to mention just a few, extended congratulations from the Kings of Baseball to the Minneapolis Kings of Basketball. Against the toughest of professional competition over a long and rugged 70-game schedule, their talent, coaching, teamwork, and something called the will to win have once more proved triumphant. 5 times world champions in 6 years of championship play. That's the record of the Minneapolis Lakers.